Hey guys, this is On the Couch with Fouch, and I'm your host, Matt Fouch, and I have a special guest with me today. But before I introduce her, I want to tell y'all where you can find all the interviews. Just go to onthecouchwithfouch.com, like the Facebook page, subscribe on YouTube, get the emails from onthecouchwithfouch.com so you never miss any of the interviews that come up in the future. Now, that being said, I have Lauren Talley with me. Thank you so much for joining me for an interview today.
My pleasure. Thank you.
I'm thrilled that we were able to work it out. We went kind of back and forth, and I think
We've been trying to make this happen for about a year now.
Last year I asked you, and it just, scheduling wise, just didn't work. So I'm glad it worked this time.
Me too. I've been looking forward to it.
And
I've also been a little freaked out.
So I'm going to tell them, earlier today, we did, Legacy 5 came in for the Singing News Radio Roundtable interview. And those of you that don't know, we're recording these at National Quartet Convention. And you were co-hosting with Danny Jones of Singing News. And you told me then that this interview has you very nervous.
See, I know how you all are. You throw in these
zingers.
So I gotta bring my A game for this.
Well, I'll tell you.
I'm a big fan of the series, though.
Well, thank you. When someone says that on camera, I always ask them, who has been your favorite interview that you've seen?
Oh gosh, I liked Gerald Wolfe's a lot. I liked Wes Hampton's a lot.
We talked about cooking with Wes Hampton.
I know.
That was interesting.
He's a great cook.
I've never had his cooking before.
Never have I never have either, but his pictures look really good on Instagram. So
he makes it look delicious. We have no idea what it tastes like. It may taste like chalk, but it looks fantastic.
But it looks pretty, and that's really all that matters.
Hopefully next time I can get him on sometime.
Yeah.
And we'll actually do a cooking
Maybe
interview
he'll bring
with Wes.
snacks.
That would be awesome. Well, we had a ton of questions for you submitted by the followers of this series about your family.
Okay.
And the family history of the Talleys in Southern gospel music. It's a rich heritage. So why don't you share with these folks about the Talleys and your history with them?
Well, we've been around pretty much forever. Not really forever. I'll try to give the Cliff's Notes version here.
Yeah.
My mom and dad started in gospel music with different groups in the 70s. My dad joined the Hoppers as their piano player right out of college.
Wow.
And my mom was traveling with a group called the Songmasters Quartet out of Milan, Tennessee. She was 19 years old, never been away from home before, didn't know anything about gospel music. They met each other while they were with both of those groups. And they traveled with the Hoppers for a little while together after they got married. I was born while they were on the road with the Hoppers, while they were with them.
Really?
And so that's why the Talleys and the Hoppers have always had a very special connection, because we're family. My Uncle Kirk, my dad's brother, was actually with the Hoppers as well. He started traveling and singing with them and playing bass when he was in high school. And I have no idea why my grandparents let him go do that while he was 16 years old, but I guess because my dad was there, it was okay.
Yeah.
They formed the Talleys in 1984, and that group continued on for about 9 or 10 years or so. I spent my childhood on the bus with that group. Mm-hmm. I've been around gospel music my whole life, and people ask, "Is this all you know?" Pretty much. I've tried to expand my horizons a little bit beyond the bus, but yes, this has been our life for the last however many years.
Well, and you mentioned your Uncle Kirk.
Yeah.
Cathedral quartet.
Yes,
tenor.
he was with the Cathedrals for several years.
And that's where a lot of people would say first met him, know him. Great songwriter as well. And so I'm sure I wasn't around then. I didn't really come into the gospel music scene until after 2000. So the Cathedrals were already retired and everything. But I'm sure that...
you missed it. Those were the days.
I know. I've heard stories. I've seen videos. But I'm sure that when the Talleys came together, you were talking about with your uncle, your dad, your mom, and then you as a kid singing, I'm sure, with them and stuff. I'm sure that back then there was just a tight, awesome sound of the music that they were creating together.
I might be a little bit biased, but I would agree with that statement. They were doing stuff musically that wasn't being done a lot in this genre, and they really were kind of pioneers of a sort, because up until that point, gospel music had still been very traditional. Most groups did not use tracks; they just used piano and bass, and they didn't have a lot of other instrumentation. And the Talleys came along and did some innovative things with their music that gospel music really hadn't seen before. So I would say that they kind of ushered in maybe a little bit more slightly progressive sound, which has kind of continued on, I think, now.
We're definitely using tracks today.
Well, yeah,
we've
are.
kind of reversed the mold on that. Now it's like hardly anybody has the live music.
Yeah, it's rare for there to be live players on stage now. But I miss that.
Yeah, when the Singing News Fan Awards band category, you've got 4 or 5 choices, and that's it.
Year.
I know, it's crazy.
I know,
but it's the nature of the beast in a way.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't afford to have 4 players on the bus.
Well,
and it's hard.
It's not the 80s anymore, and the economy is different, and it's just a different world, different time.
Absolutely.
But we've been traveling and singing together as the current incarnation of the Talleys for 21 years now. I can't believe it's been that long. I know.
That's hard for me
to
to wrap my mind around that. I didn't know it had been that long.
Yeah.
That's great, though. Well, that actually leads into the first submitted question online. Terry Leach would like to know, what's it like to travel with your parents? Be kind. Be gentle.
We have a good time together. We really do. We're a close family. We're a very loving family. My parents are more like friends now than parents. I guess that happens as you get older. We have our times just like everybody else when everybody's got to go find their own little corner and hide and do their own thing for a little while. When we're off the road, we don't see as much of each other because everybody is going and doing different things. And then we meet up at the bus on Thursday night. Well, what'd you do this week? Well, I did this and I did that. We go around the table at dinner. Okay, Mama, what'd you do this week? And we catch up that
on the weekends.
But yeah, we do.
So what has your life been like the last 4 days?
Right.
Elaine Harcourt would like to know, outside of your parents, who are your musical influences?
Oh, there's been so many.
We'll narrow it down
I'll
to
start
just
with
one
gospel
or two.
music.
Yeah.
The Martins were a huge influence on me when I was very, very young. When I was about 12 or 13 years old, I was just exploring my own voice and discovering that God had given me my own calling and my own gift apart from Mom and Dad. And that was right at the time when the Martins were really hitting big and they were doing cool stuff. At least I thought it was cooler than what Mom and Dad had done. And I've always loved them.
Because we all think our parents are
nobody
cool when
thinks
we're
their
like
parents
13,
are cool,
right? Yeah.
So I loved the Martins. CeCe Winans is my hero. I want to be her. She is amazing and she's anointed. I was really into country music for a while. Winona Judd was one of my favorite country voices. But I try to find inspiration in lots of different places because I feel that there's something good to be learned from a lot of different things. If it's of quality and if it's positive, if it's enriching your life in some way, then it's of merit to me. So I try to learn from people who are different from me. But
good. That's good. Danny Wood, well, thank you for your question. Danny would love to, his question is, he loves the Broken Ones song that you do. So his question is, kind of where did that song come from and how do you get through that song when you sing it? Because it's just a great song.
It's an amazing song. That song was kind of dropped in our lap in a way. Jerry Salley had the idea for it, and his daughter, Maggie is a real life person. His daughter, Maggie, was always bringing home stray animals that were injured or hurt somehow, and she would take care of them and feed them and patch them up. And he said we had this menagerie at our house because of all these animals that Maggie was bringing home. And he said, I kept thinking about how much she loved these animals and how much like that is the love that Jesus Christ has for us.
Right.
So that's where the song kind of came from, and it was just submitted to us through their publisher for a recording that we did. And when we heard it, we all just went, this is the greatest song I have ever heard. We lost it the first couple of times that we heard it. We kind of got it out of our system then.
Yeah.
But I've been singing that song now for about, I think, 7 or 8 years. And it kind of takes on a life of its own because I hear different things that it means to different people. And I talk to people who tell me their stories of how they've been broken. And I know what that's like myself. And it's just special every time you sing it, and in slightly different ways.
Right. It's a beautiful song. Is there anywhere that they can find that song?
Oh, yeah.
If maybe someone watching is The Broken Ones, just by chance, they haven't heard it. Where can they
well,
find
if you're watching this on YouTube, just go type in Lauren Talley, The Broken Ones, or the Talleys, The Broken Ones, and it'll pop right up. But
Cool.
yeah.
Lindsay Morton would like to know, what is your favorite Christmas tradition?
Eating.
I thought
wish
that was
it-
more of a Thanksgiving
I
thing.
wish it were more spiritual than that, but the best part about Christmas to me is when the family all gets together. The weekend before Christmas is when my mom's family gets together. They live out in West Kentucky. We're the only ones that live off, and so we always go out there and spend that weekend with them. And it's loud, and everybody's cutting up, and when one takes a breath, the next one starts, and we pretty much just entertain ourselves.
I'm sure none of you have a family like that,
No,
right?
it's just us. But yeah, Christmas with them is loud, but it's fun. And on Christmas Eve, my mom cooks Christmas dinner. I cook some too, and
Help.
yeah. But who wants to cook when my mom is so good at it?
Right.
But that's when we exchange family gifts, and we have brunch on Christmas morning with just, the immediate family, and watch whatever sports are on TV. And Christmas is very chill, the actual holiday itself.
Speaking of sports, there was a couple questions that came up, and I'm not even going to ask a question. I'm just going to say University of Tennessee.
Amen.
And
Yes. ...
Football, basketball, anything?
Yes, all the above.
Okay.
All the above.
Die Hard. I'm catching a little Die Hard vibe.
It's intense.
On
It's
Tennessee.
a little frightening, actually.
I'm just a thought. Maybe a closet full of orangish color.
We don't
maybe?
talk about what's in the closet. No, I'm just kidding. My family has had season tickets to the. Stop it.
I'm just saying. Orange, right?
Orange
The
is
color?
God's favorite color.
Okay.
I'm just telling you. We've had season tickets to the University of Tennessee Lady Vols basketball games for about 25 years. We go as often as possible. I'm usually gone on Saturdays in the fall, but I get in as many football games at Neyland Stadium as I possibly can. You want to hear the Talleys get loud, you turn on Tennessee on the TV, and we can't watch it, honestly, before we go in and sing, because we get
your
too
emotions
worked
all
up.
messed up.
We get too worked up.
How are you supposed to minister when you're all worked up like
and when
that?
you're mad about the game, or
And
it's bad.
I'm sure there are tons of fans that you can name all those SEC schools, Big
Oh,
Ten
yeah.
schools, all that. I'm sure they all get worked up over stuff like that.
That's the great thing about college football. Everybody's got that one team that they love and that one team that they can't stand.
Hate.
And that's you have to have a little hatred for it to be good.
Well, I'm going to go past the hate part because there are kids watching. You're not supposed to hate.
No, you're not supposed to hate.
Zachary Grant wants to know, what is your favorite song? And I mentioned your Uncle Kirk earlier being a writer.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite song written by your Uncle Kirk?
Oh, wow.
That's a
He's
great
had so many
question.
good ones.
I know.
Probably He Is Here.
Okay.
You can sing He Is Here anywhere, and it just ushers in the presence of the Lord. And it's a song that the audience can easily pick up on and sing along.
Yeah.
We're still singing it 25 years after he wrote it, so I think that's the mark of a good song.
And to close things out, and this has been awesome. I've enjoyed, we talked a lot about your family.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that is a very integral part of who you are.
Family's everything in life.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
all about relationships. It's about your relationship with God, your relationship with the people that love you the most. I mean, if you don't have those two things in line, then you need to pay some attention to what's really important in life, because those are the only things that's going to last.
Yeah. And so I actually don't have Fouch Zone. And I didn't do Fouch Zone.
I'm crushed. That was the part I was really looking forward to.
That was the part you were nervous about.
I know, but I was still excited about it.
But what I do want to end out with, and before I do
Man,
this,
I'm
I do want to say this.
disappointed.
I'm sorry.
Next time.
On the Couch with Fouch, make sure you hit like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. But to close out, I want you to give these folks a rousing rendition of Rocky Top.
I knew that was coming. Rocky Top. No, put your hand over your heart.
Oh,
Put your hand over your heart. This is the Tennessee national anthem. Rocky Top, you'll always be home sweet home to me. Good old Rocky Top. Woo! Rocky Top, Tennessee. Rocky Top, Tennessee.
Thanks for watching, guys. Have a
Amen.
great day.